Hey guys, welcome to an October sustainable living story. I'm Ange, the creator of Harlowe Green. Last week I posted a little sticker to try and get some feedback about what people wanted to see for upcoming sustainable living stories, and I got a lot of very specific like fall or winter or holiday requests. So I'm thinking I'm gonna make a little cozy season series of just swaps you can do in moving into these seasons and getting ready for the holidays. So if you do not have time to listen to me ramble, because I'm gonna try and cover like just a couple of these smaller things today, I'm gonna try and do some posts coming up. So today I'm gonna talk a little bit about fall decor and home fragrance and candles for the cozy season, warm drinks, and just do a little shout out for some things that we got for our little boys for the new season. So just before we get started, I wanted to just quickly comment on how fast we transitioned to fall this year. Very early frost, and it felt like we went from summer right to fall. And I'm not even saying that in like a 2020 is crazy type of sentiment. It happened really fast. And I think there's this common perception or misperception out there that climate change just means things are getting warmer. And I don't mean to offend, but I feel like that's like a Donald Trump understanding of climate change. Climate change means that we're going to have these extremes, and the climate of the planet will slowly increase, but we will have these extremes and not really have the transition season that we normally have. So for me, that really scared me. We entered October where we're supposed to be looking forward to the leaves turning, but I'm just gonna come over here and show you, like, we have this lovely treed hill, but like the leaves haven't just turned, they're gone. Like they're almost all on the ground right now, and today's October 6th, I think. I'm filming this a little bit early. So I think if you're looking for a why in trying to make some of these changes, like for me, that's kind of driving me forward in this season, whether it's for your family or your own health, or like the health of your home environment, or even like just trying to set a better example for your family or like the people that you're around. I think that that's really important to find, and that's what I found this week anyways. So love the fall, happy it's here. I really love that the fall is a time of year where people like embrace like the natural elements for decorating. So things like pumpkins and like florals are like, they're actually classier than going out and getting like a bunch of glittery things, because glitter's just plastic, or like the plastic vine with the plastic leaves and stuff. So that's great. And I'm gonna add to it that we need to be very on trend, because there's this amazing trend right now of like these neutral dried floral arrangements, and I love them. But I feel like that's another thing that we can add in. I was on the internet last night and I was looking up pampas grasses. I'm probably saying that wrong, but like, look, they grow in the ditch here. So these guys were free, and they've been in my house for like a year now. So I think maybe we need to add the fall tradition of going out and just cutting down our own stuff and making a display on our kitchen table. I'm gonna share one from Cedar and Moss. They have a really beautiful one that they had on their like lovely farmhouse table. So that's one thing that I thought I would just throw out there. It's much nicer than looking at like a big plastic turkey. The other thing that I wanted to show you for fall decor, Harlowe has another lovely little business, and these ladies do a lot of upcycling. So here they are. I showed you them last week as well, but they find a lot of materials and just make creations out of them. So I'll share something from their page as well. So awesome to be supporting a small business. So first thing that I thought I'd talk about for cozy season is warm drinks. It's hard to do live videos. What was I going to say about warm drinks? Oh, I made a post a little while ago about tea bags and how like they're just creating such a significant source of waste. More and more often now we're finding plastic tea bags being the norm, especially for a little bit fancier teas, and absolutely all of that is going in the garbage. Like, no one is taking the time to recycle any of that or clean out all the little tea leaves or anything like that. So it's a pretty significant source of waste. And then even if you're going with sort of the old-fashioned style tea bags, a lot of them are still being bleached, and in both scenarios, plastic or a bleached tea bag, you're getting additional things in your water when it gets hit with hot water. So you're drinking it and consuming it. So even if you don't care about the waste piece of this, the convenience, you're paying for it somehow. So I thought I would just show you guys this, because even though I think a lot of people didn't realize that at Bulk Barn before you could bring your own containers, so that was like a really awesome way to reduce waste, which has ended during COVID, but I know it feels like the pandemic's never going to end, but hopefully it does. But that's something you can do in the future. But they sell coffee and tea, and you can get a better quality loose leaf tea there than you can just going to the grocery store and getting it pre-bagged for the price. So even if you're buying like a big bulk bag of it, that one plastic bag is so much better than all of the waste of the tea bags. So we have a couple of different teas, but we also get apple cider there. Wanted to show that. And then I think our hot chocolate's on the shelf behind me. So you can get a number of different warm drinks there. Apple cider and the hot chocolate, you don't need this, but for tea, we just have this little tea strainer, or you can use like a little tea swizzle thing. And then I also sell cloth tea bags. So those are made out of organic cotton and hemp, so you can be sure that there's like nothing extra going into your tea that you're drinking. And then I just have on my fridge here these little clips. So I just you can rinse out the tea bag, dump it in your composter, and then hang it up there afterwards. So warm drinks, you can think about reducing your waste there. Coffee, didn't really chat about that because that's just an all year drink for me. But if you can, make sure you're trying to shop Canadian. And then I wanted to do a little shout out for a really awesome local small company that's doing really good things. They're called Align Coffee, and their little fiance team, soon to be husband and wife team, that do their own roasting and sell their own beans out of Sterling. So I've got some right there. And they're going to be at our pop-up on October 17th in Belleville with Two Ferns Botanicals. So it's always awesome to be supporting within your own community, and like coffee in Sterling is amazing. So if you're supporting within your own community, there's spending their own money wherever you're working, or they're spending money in your own community, and you're going to see the effects of that. So shopping locally is really important, especially during the pandemic, and this year I feel like we learned a lot about that. But moving on. So next thing I want to talk about is the candles and the home fragrance stuff. So one of the hardest things for me to leave behind in like my sustainable living journey was one specific candle from Bath & Body Works, and you probably know the one because it smells so good. It's called Leaves, and I feel like I opened the lid and then fall just like erupted in Harlowe. Like, that's what I would do every year. I actually had the same candle for 6 years, which is probably very concerning, like just health-wise, but it was so good. And I got rid of all my other Bath & Body Works stuff when I learned about artificial fragrance and some of the ingredients in those products. But I held on to Leaves until it was gone because I knew I would never have it back. And that was tough for me to replace. So I'm going to just share with you my little journey there and show you maybe some like alternatives for what you can do there. So real quick, artificial fragrance. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, not a chemist, but just do a small amount of research into artificial fragrance and you'll see where I'm coming from. So fragrance is this infuriating loophole in like the beauty and home industry where companies can use the word fragrance, but it could encompass so many different chemicals. So many things are allowed to be listed as fragrance, and you have no way of knowing what they are unless you contact the company, and they're probably not going to tell you because they don't have to tell you. You can't figure out what the health impacts are because you don't even know what you're looking up. And usually, if they're listing it as that instead of an essential oil or a safer oil, they're not going to tell you what it is anyways, and they're just going to list it as fragrance. And sometimes it's also parfum, P-A-R-F-U-M. So I know it's a lot to kind of think about, like, how am I supposed to remember all these ingredients? The Environmental Working Group does have an app that you can download on your phone so you can look up stuff, but fragrance and parfum should be like, that's easy to remember and easy to find. So in looking this up, you'll see that this can cause significant health impacts, especially in a home environment where in the fall and the winter, we're not like opening our windows, we don't have our doors open with like our screen door there, allowing some air to circulate. Usually for the fall and the winter, your home just sits closed in and the air is in there. So every time you're burning these toxins into your home environment, they're just accumulating and the air in your home is getting more and more toxic. So it's scary to think of it that way because you're then getting into like off-gassing of everything and thinking about that. But slowly you can look at like replacing things one at a time. So I'm just gonna go through quickly like a couple of positive options here. So I spoke to one of my friends that sells essential oils, and I'm not going to like advocate for any specific person or company because I think there's a lot of weird schemes that go on there and not a lot of factual information of the sustainability of these oils. Thinking about like whether or not somebody in Ontario needs an oil that's been diluted from 30 different plants, half the world away, and bottled it and brought it here just so I can burn it in my own home makes me a little bit concerned. So I'm not going to go into like essential oils necessarily, other than to just say like there's a couple of really awesome small businesses that care about all the sustainability that you can look into. Ritual Apothecary, they make their own essential oils in Peterborough, and then also Birch, Babe and Cloyne. So those are the companies that I'm excited to support when I'm buying essential oils. But my friend was able to put together a couple of scents to save me when I lost my leaves candle. So if you're like just like to keep things simple, you take like a tree scented scent and like a baking scented scent and you put them together and they always smell good. So my favorite combination that I burn all year that helped me to replace this was like a spruce oil, clove, a little bit of cinnamon and clove, like maybe 2 drops of each, a little more of the spruce, maybe like 10 drops, and then cypress was sort of the extra ingredient. So I think I did like 5 or 6 drops, but it helped me to replace the scent in my home, and I had no more worries for like my pets and my children, and they were safe. So that led me to having the issue that I did not have any more candle glow, and I'm an early riser, so love to have my candles. So have this, so you don't have to look at my face anymore. Ooh. Beeswax candles are an awesome way to replace like artificial fragrances. So it smells really good when it's not burning, is clean burning in your home. The candles that I'm selling that are beeswax are from Tamworth. So the bees are from around here. The ingredients did not have to travel far, and it's pure. So that's a really great way to change it. And then you can still have your diffusers, or like if you just want to have a reed diffuser for your oils. I also this year got a couple of candles from Recreation Designs. And if you're not following she is such an advocate for sustainable living, and I love following her because she shares so many positive and really informative things to do with sustainability, and she obviously has that as one of her core values. So I have a couple of her candles, good like fall winter transition scents. So I have Forest Frost. This one's more, I would say, Christmassy. It's got your forest scents, but then there's also some berry scents in there. And then Timber, which is like smoke and the woods. So both of these are clean burning candles, and you don't really have to worry about it being in your home and making your air quality extremely toxic. And then finally, I just wanted to share something that I got from Go Green Baby. So we got these Nooks slippers for my oldest son last year. Actually, I need to get them out and show you, but he was 3 years old and they lasted so well. And so we're actually grabbed another pair this year for my other son, because last year he was just learning how to walk and now he's like running everywhere. So these are the boy slippers. They're Nooks and they're from Go Green Baby and they're fantastic. So just wanted to share those because this is like the heirloom quality, heirloom Canadian quality that you're gonna pass down past your kids, and that's what we need to be looking more into doing. And then the other thing from Go Green Baby that I wanted to share was their pad dregs. Probably saying that wrong, but they have adult pad dregs there. These ones are going on their 3rd year and I can put them in the wash. They're a little bit linty and bally, but I can fix that. But I just wanted to share that as well because Go Green Baby is doing awesome things and they care about sustainability, and you can also feel strongly that they know where their things are coming from, and Canadian companies and small business is really important to them as well. So just wanted to give a little shout out to them. That's how we're transitioning to the cozy season over here, with a couple of things from their shop. So anyways, hopefully that was informative. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'm going to try and share some articles that support what I was saying today, and keep going with some posts about cozy season. So enjoy. Have a good weekend.